Jetzt folgt gleich ein Video mit einer Vermietungsagentur, und zwar dem Chef der Vermietungsagentur in San Pietro, in dem Ressort. Und da stelle ich ein paar Fragen, auf die ihr schon gespannt sein könnt. Es gibt echt coole Insights, auch wie die Auslastungsraten sind, etc. pp. Lasst euch überraschen, ich freue mich auf euch und lasst mir ein Like da und abonniert den Kanal. Thank you, dear Fisnik, for having me here today in your rental agency. Let's please, I would suggest, start with give us a few first introduction on your person, what you are doing here, where we are, and yeah, give the guys and ladies an insight, please.
Thank you very much for coming, and we really appreciate the opportunity to explain and to do an introduction of what we're doing here in San Pietro. So my name is Fisnik, and I'm the general manager of San Pietro Vacation Rentals, which is one of the first vacation rental agency licensed in Albania. We are here in a resort which is in Lalzi Bay, which is approximately 40 kilometers from Tirana, from the airport and from Durrës, the same distance. We are located in a bay which is in the Adriatic Sea. And San Pietro is a residential area with many different private properties that we manage for vacation rentals. We have managed to create an environment with a reception and with many other services that we provide for our guests. It's not the typical vacation rental agency where everything is managed from remote, but we kind of are a hotel, which is where we provide every kind of service of a hotel, but our guests stay in private properties.
You just said that hotel is, I think, the right word here to talk about. You've been a hotel manager of one of the first hotels, or the first international hotel here in Albania, and then started here over to build up your first own rental agency.
Yeah, practically I had the opportunity and the honor of being the first general manager of an internationally branded hotel, which is Mövenpick Hotel. It was the first one opened in the Albanian coast, and it was an experience that I learned a lot, because I was trained also by the trainers of Accor Group, which Mövenpick is part of. Mm-hmm. And that experience elevated me and professionally, and but then I started to look into other motivations regarding the tourism market and tourism industry, which I love to do. And I started managing my own properties first, and of other individuals. And then we created, together with the construction company, we created this collaboration of managing the private properties for vacation rentals.
Okay, you said that San Pietro here is a huge, I think, residential area. How many properties are we talking about here?
We're talking about 989 properties through villas and apartments, different category of villas.
Okay.
Starting from quadruple villas, which are 4 villas attached to one another with private entrance and private gardens, to semi-attached villas, which are 2 villas attached to one another, again with private gardens and entrance, to individual villas and to elite villas, which are private villas with different meter square and different layouts practically. The elite villas are the ones who are in the front, the beach front.
Okay, so it's elite, single, double,
quadruple, and then the apartments.
Yeah. The farther I get to the beach, the more I have to share my property with other people, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how many properties do you manage here for others?
Okay, so we started the first year, even though the demand was higher, we started with 50 properties because of, it was our first year, so we wanted to see what the results would be. We wanted, our first client is the owner of the property. and then is the guest that comes to have a vacation here practically. So we wanted to make sure that the relationship between us as an agency and the property owner is a healthy one. So that's why we didn't want to increase the number of the properties that we manage more than 50. And we did a very good job. We exceeded our expectations. And that's why this year we increased it to 86 properties. I believe we're going to go until 90 for this year, and then we're going to stop because, again, we want to see the results and we don't want to risk lacking in quality of the service because even for employment, it's not a very easy to find people who can do the job with a good efficiency and how we want it. So that's why we're going to stop at the 90 properties for this year.
Okay. When did you start your journey here as a rental manager?
As a rental manager, so besides the hotel, because I've been living in the area, so okay. That's why I'm very attached to the area. I live here throughout the year, and I started besides the hotel practically last year in January. We created the company, and 1 year before I was managing my own properties, and then last year in January we started with the construction company to manage almost the whole resort in terms of vacation rentals.
Okay, so but you have almost approximately 90 then this year, which would be 10% of the whole properties here that will be managed then by you. Mm-hmm. Well, this is a huge number, I would say. And how do guests come to you here? I mean, first of all, the property owners, how can they contact you and how do they know that you offer this service?
So we found the best location in terms of reception. So we are practically at the entrance of the residence. The whole residence has only one entrance and one exit. So we are practically at the entrance of the residence with the reception. And many people also confuse the reception of being the reception of the whole resort, but we are the reception only of the vacation rental agency. And people saw that our signs are all over the properties that we manage with the QR code. So people get curious and they scan the QR code, they see what we do, the properties that we list. They see the occupancy because there you can see also for each property how much occupancy it has. So they saw that we did a very good job last year. So this year they started to contact us throughout the year to give their property in management. I believe that the people who don't frequent their property very much throughout the year, so they come maybe 1 week or 2 weeks throughout the year, it's a very good opportunity for them to make more worth of their property.
Cool. I like the idea of having a reception here, even if it's just for a rental company. Usually, I know this from hotels. So, what else do you offer, or do you have special services that you offer for your guests, or is it just usual short-term rental Airbnb and that's it?
No, since we are a gated community, we were able to provide many more services to our guests. The reason of the reception is to accumulate these services. So we start from airport pickups for our guests, airport shuttles, taxis, car rentals for our guests, yacht rentals this year, bike rentals. Our guests at their private property, they find everything that they would find in a hotel, from slippers, from shampoos, from towels, from beach towels, sunbeds at the sea, breakfast if they want, in collaboration with the 2 restaurants that we have inside the resort. And then tours throughout Albania if they want. We have companies that we collaborate with to do tours in and outside of Albania, in the region mostly. So yeah, practically we offer everything that the hotel offers. In terms of, for example, other facilities like the spa that we lack of, or the inside pool and so on and so forth, we collaborate with the 5-star hotel that we have next to the residence, which is Melia Hotel. And our guests, with a fee but also with a discount, can access to their facilities.
Wow, this is a huge range of extras you're offering here. Really cool, I like it. What is your view on the development of the market? So when you started with your first properties, and now for this year you will have maybe 90 properties. And what is your experience on the demand of the market? I mean, since you have already rented your own properties, can you see already a rise in demand on the properties here, that short-term rentals or customers are heading more and more towards this kind of service?
Yeah, so this was also one of the reasons that we wanted to increase the number of properties, because we saw that we had, even last year, we had higher demand that our offer was. So we increased the number of properties. The demand in Albania, we've seen this trend throughout from after the pandemic until now. Every year we're having an increase in demand for not only for vacation rentals, but for hotel rooms and so on and so forth. So that's why we increased, and we are very positive. We have seen from the reservation from this year. We are now in April, and we are almost 50% sold out for summer, right? For all of our properties. So we are very positive in terms of our expectations of demand. So it's very nice.
Okay, very good, very good. You told about after pandemic, and I think we had a talk before, of course. Can you give the viewers here an outlook on what was the ratio of Airbnb customers compared to hotel guests, and how this changed after the pandemic?
Yeah, so practically globally, before the pandemic, the ratio between the people who went to an Airbnb, to a vacation rentals, or to a hotel was 1 to 10. After the pandemic, it went to 1 to 3, the ratio. So it is a huge shift towards private properties, towards vacation rentals. And that change also indicated how the market should behave. So that's why we saw an increase of individuals renting out their houses, their second house or their third house. In Albania, it's a quite new market, to be honest. It's a market that didn't really exist a couple of years ago, even though in Western Europe and throughout the world, it has existed for many years. But in Albania, it's kind of a new thing. So in Albania, tourists were only used to hotels. Now they're getting used also to vacation rentals. But in this new thing, we try to give another new feature, which is the kind of the hotel management of different private properties. Yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, then the demand is still maybe rising, but are there many hotels here gathering in this area, or is it just Melia and Mövenpick and this residential area?
So practically, as in terms of international hotels, we only have 2 internationally branded hotels. There are also smaller hotels in the area, but most of this is kind of a residential area. So that's why you will not find many hotels. But the new resorts that are being built, every resort has a hotel within the area. So, yeah. But for now, we only have 2.
Okay. You said that you already have almost sold 50% of the whole season. When is the season? Which time of the year are you offering the services? And what is the main season? What is the mid-season, and so on? Could you give us an insight?
Yeah. So practically, in Albania, the season is changing. When the start of the season changes in terms of the area. So, for example, in the Adriatic Sea or in their proximity to Tirana and Durrës, the season starts earlier. While in the south, it starts end of May and it ends at the beginning of September. Here, the season already started. It started from mid of March, and it's going to end middle of October, towards the end of October. Even though we are opened 360 days of the year, because since we have private properties, many of the villas that we have heated pools, have the conditions to have an escaped weekend from the city and come here and spend the weekend with your friends and family. So the features of some of our villas offer the opportunity also to be open during the whole year.
The cooperation with the hotels in terms of using the spa, is this something that attracts more guests in your opinion?
Yes, because at the end of the story, people also want to have like the more services that they can get. They won't give up the opportunity of having a private property where they gather, where they spend their vacations. But if you are able to give the opportunity of using the gym or using the spa, even with an extra fee, it's really appreciated from our guests, and it's something that attracts them more practically.
Yeah. Okay. You said that the short-term rental is kind of a new market here emerging in Albania. Is there any legislation on this market, and what's going on in this area?
So practically there is a lack of clarity regarding the legislation in Albania regarding the vacation rentals. I told you at the beginning that we are the first licensed vacation rental company. We kind of created together with the Ministry of Tourism this category for us, because we feel that the market should be legislated in terms of vacation, as are for the hotels, right? So we are together with other components of the market, other agencies that do the same, that provide the same service that we do, are trying to figure out how to create a draft of legislation to present to the authorities regarding taxation for this market, regarding licenses for properties and for companies, how it should behave, taking all the experience that the Western countries have, since they have been doing this thing for many years.
But the Western companies, or no, the Western countries are quite regulated right now.
Yeah, they are over-regulated, I think. So we will try to benefit from being a young market, to have as less as possible, but not at all as we are now. So at least some legislation that distinguishes professionals that do this job from the ones that are not professional and don't provide a very good service. Because I'm living in Albania, I'm in Albania, I appreciate my country, I love my country, and I want tourism in this country to be at its highest points, right, at its highest level. So the quality and the good quality can only be provided once you are legislated and once you have a license to do the job that you do. So
yeah. But to rent my own property, I can do it by myself, as I assume?
Yes.
I don't need a license?
No.
But I have to register somewhere?
You have to register through the OTAs. So in Booking.com or Airbnb or whatever channel that you're using, you have to give your ID or company ID if you have a company to do that. And for now, that's it. I think it's not enough, because properties that are listed, not all of them meet the standards of being a vacation rental property, and also the individuals that do this service, that provide this service, are not all at the same level that it should be for providing the same service.
On which kind of platforms, or how many platforms do you use to give your offer out for the properties that you give out to the market? Yeah,
so we do use a PMS that gathers all of our reservations and all of our properties and distributes our properties throughout all the online OTAs from Booking.com, Airbnb, Vrbo, and so on and so forth.
PMS is what kind of management system?
It's a property management system, which we use one of the best, which is called Hostaway. It's the people of the hotel might recognize Oracle, for example, which is one of the best PMSs that's used for hotel management. We do the same thing, but with a PMS that is adapted for vacation rentals. We also integrate this PMS with other artificial intelligence based programs, which help us to do dynamic pricing, for example, to create more efficiency in terms of selling, because in this market most of the people are very emotional in terms of dealing with prices, right? But we have left everything in the hands of artificial intelligence, which does a much better job that we might do in terms of coming out with the right price for the right time and for the right person.
Very good. I like the approach. And now you do a dynamic pricing to get the best out of the market for the property owner, basically. And what kind of fee does the property owner now has to pay for this exclusive service?
So
just to give the people a rough idea.
Yeah, of course. So we, as I told you, all the experience that we are gathering and we are putting towards this collaboration with property owners are based on what are the international standards. How do agencies in the Western world or throughout the whole world work towards the properties that they don't own? So we practically have a commission for the managing of the property, which can vary depending on the property and depending also on how many properties these owners have, because we have many owners that have many properties. So of course they get they have a discount regarding the commission, or they have a preferable commission in these terms, or they have a property that is very unique. So that's also another reason that they have a preferable commission. But we do operate not only with commissions, we operate also with fixed rentings. So for example, for property owners who bought their property just for investment and they won't be here coming to their properties, so we rent it out. So we take it with the fixed rent for the whole year, and that's it.
So you pay a fixed rent to the owner?
Yes.
And then you do the short-term rental,
yeah.
And the difference is basically yours?
Yeah, that's the first scenario.
That's the first scenario.
Second scenario is with commissions.
With commissions, okay. And how does it work when I, as a property owner, want to make vacation in my own property, maybe 2-3 weeks a year, and the rest shall be rent out? How does this work out?
So this is the second scenario. So we're working with commissions in this case, and the owner can, since the PMS that I was talking to you about has the access is also to the property owner. So he has access with an application to his property. He can see the reservations, how much money his property is making in real time with notifications and so on and so forth. So in the same program, he can enter and do and book his own property without any cost, as much as he wants, whenever he wants. Of course, since being an agency that we are working, especially here in San Pietro, where we have a season in comparison to the city, for example, in Durrës or Tirana, where we don't have a season. Here, since we have a season, we have some conditions on how many days they should use during the high season. But throughout the year, they can come whenever they want. They can use their property whenever they want. They will always find it in good shape, cleaned before and afterwards.
So for the second scenario, when you work with a commission, can you give us a rough idea on percentage on how much you would take from the price, whatever it is, that the customer pays?
So our commissions vary from 20 to 25%. Well, we have also taxes. We have the VAT, for example, that we pay to the tax agency, and the rest is for the owner.
Okay,
And then it depends on the owner who, if he's an individual, he has to pay 50% income tax at the end of the year. 15.
1 5.
1 5.
Okay, okay.
We're in Albania. So
Not in Germany.
we're in Albania, so we not pay high taxes. They pay 15% income tax at the end of the year, which in this case we paid for them. If they want, they can also pay it by themselves, but in case they want, we can pay it for them and deduct it from the total income. And if they are a company, then the taxation is based on their company.
So this sounds like a whole wellness package that you're offering.
Yeah.
You don't have to take care of your property, you don't have to take care of the rental of the property, you don't have to take care of the taxes. So this is all that you gather. And even if I have special demands where I need toothpaste or a toothbrush, you will also put this in my property and you will take care of it.
We don't give a no to our guests. So no, it's not an answer that we can afford. So everything that the guest needs, not only the guest, as I told you, our first client, our main collaborator is the property owner. So we need to make sure that the property is well maintained. We need to make sure that the property, if it has any small damages or even big damages, but it's not our case, we fix it for them, and we give insurance to our property owners that everything that they, in case of a closure of the collaboration, the house, the property will be in the same shape. Yeah, practically we don't have a no. So
very good, very good. And when now I, as a customer, come to you, I come here to this wonderful property and I see the reception. How does it work? And when I want to make vacation here, how does the process work?
So practically as in a hotel, if you're using our pickup service from the airport, we pick you up from the airport. Or in case you want to rent a car directly from the airport with the company that we collaborate with, we will provide the car for you at the airport and give you instruction on how to come here. And then from here we take care of accompanying you to the property and setting you down with everything that you need as initially. And then you have a reception that is almost 24 hours. So any time of the day, you can call us for everything that you need, from I don't know, birthday cakes, birthday celebrations to the tours that I was mentioning you about.
The occupancy rates throughout the year. You said you have your season from March until October, kind of. Yeah. What can I, as a property owner, expect as occupancy rate?
So the occupancy regarding the season is almost 95 to 100%. We are talking about June, July, and August, and then in the shoulders of the season, as we call it, so May and September, it decreases to 50% maybe, and then throughout the years it decreases until 20 to 15%. But since we are by the sea, since we are a resort, we try to make most of our income during the season. So, and that's why the properties that we are managing will never exceed the demand, because we want to make property owners happy with a high occupancy. So that's why from the statistics of last year, we had June, July, and August almost 95%. So
wow, yeah. Amazing. Comparison to the hotel, what is a hotel? Well, what can we expect there?
Well, it depends on the hotel. For example, Melia, which is a 5-star hotel with many facilities, they also were like almost fully booked throughout the season, but we are very proud that since being the first year and kind of a first agency of doing this kind of management, we exceeded our expectations. So
Do you want to give us an outlook on your opinion regarding the prices in the future, maybe in the next 5 years? What do you expect is happening with the rental rates?
I don't think that it's gonna jump very high in terms of prices, but of course it's gonna move towards an increase because as I told you maybe when we talked about the prices in Albania before this interview, we are a country that we are publicized as and advertised that we are you can do cheap vacations in Albania. It's not that true, to be honest. We're not expensive. We're not expensive, but we're not cheap. So we always try to reach the quality of the service that we provide with the right price. So of course it's going to increase the more Albania moves towards the European Union. I think that the prices it's going to influence also the prices. So I believe that we can expect an increase in 10 to 15% maximum in the next few years, but we never know. So it depends on many variables. So
okay, thank you for this outlook. So maybe before we now have a look on the properties, I'm also really curious about how the properties look like. What properties work the best here in your agency?
So let's say that we have demand for every kind of property because every layout of families wants a specific property, right? Since we have all kind of every category here, even in terms of apartments, which are ground floor or second or third floor, and villas with or without pool. But the trend is towards villas with pool. The bigger the higher the demand, because even 2 or 3 families can gather together, do the vacations together. So that's why this year in these 36 properties that we added, most of them were villas because we had huge demand for villas. And so yeah, I think that the villas are the ones that are required more. Maybe the prices might suggest that some people cannot afford it and so they go towards an apartment or 2 apartments, but most of them want a villa as a first choice.
And do you see any special nationalities coming here more often than others? What is the mix here?
So I think that we are not the same as the statistics of the whole Albania. Why? Because in Albania, most of the people who come as tourists are our fellow brothers from Kosovo, because they are used to coming into Albania from the Adriatic to Saranda. So that's if we want to call them foreigners that come for tourism, even though they are all Albanians. But the first foreign nationality in this area were the Britons last year for us, and then the Germans, the Italians, and surprisingly there's an increase coming of people from Asia, from the Americas, so US, Canada, and Mexico. But the main group last year for us were the people from Great Britain.
Okay. This is why you also offer your service here completely full in English, and everybody is not necessarily obliged to talk Albanian. So I hear you speaking, so I think everybody else then in your team also speaks as well English as you.
Yeah, there are. It's since our language is kind of very isolated in terms of people speaking it. Yeah, of course we are obliged to speak English, but our staff can also speak in many different languages to better to make the guests more comfortable as much as we can, at least.
Last question before we go to the properties. How can our viewers get to know your services? How can they find you on social media?
Okay, so they can find us in Instagram, for example, with San Pietro Vacation Rentals, or in our website, sanpietrovacations.com. And if they go in Google, they can find our Google business account with San Pietro Vacation Rentals.
Okay, perfect. So we will put this in the show notes then later
Thank you
on.
very much.
Okay, and then I would say we start with the tour.
Yeah.
Okay?
Das war jetzt Teil 1 des Interviews. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Falls ihr das noch nicht gemacht habt, dann lasst ein Like da bitte und abonniert den Kanal. Es werden noch weitere Interviews folgen. Und jetzt im nachfolgenden Video könnt ihr mich begleiten durch das Areal und wir schauen uns direkt ein paar Apartments, Villen und auch eine Luxusvilla an. Bleibt gespannt.